And we even heard President Trump yesterday. He gave a press conference highlighting those efforts. And for our viewers who are unfamiliar, it's important to know that you are a CIA-trained intelligence operations officer with 35 years of experience in global and national security. So you're not just a random man on the street testifying before the Pennsylvania legislature. You actually have these years and years of experience in really trying to expose those vulnerabilities, which actually kind of leads to my next question, because as we know, President Trump fired the director of the Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency, Christopher Krebs, after he said there was no corruption in the 2020 election. But he's been giving interviews and doubling down on his statements regarding election security in his statements. What do you make of this?
Never give a lawyer a job that requires operational understanding and comprehensive history of working in the field he's supposed to oversee. Christopher Krebs is another bureaucrat who has become symbolic of the swamp. I encourage everybody to go Google him, check out his bio. This man has been essentially someone who worked his way through the system as a bureaucrat. And these guys were never on the street. I ran the first undercover cyber unit for DoD back in the late 90s. I've come up through a system working these sorts of things. I understand the tactical application of technology. I would argue this guy wouldn't understand the tactical application of how to open a can of dog food. And I think this is where we have to understand that he is politically motivated to maintain a certain narrative that protects he and his phony baloney job, to quote Mel Brooks, from actual accountability. The simple fact is this: they did not do a thorough check of every machine of every state, and for them to come out within, we're at a month now, within I think 2 weeks, saying, "Oh, nothing to see here," is completely unbelievable and impossible. So if he said that 2 months from now, I would have believed it. But you have to understand this. He made a political declarative statement, one that was not based on any technical understanding or technical reality, now which we're investigating.
And lastly, I'd like to ask, looking ahead, what sort of precedent do these testimonies set for future elections and all these irregularities that we've seen and heard from, even leading up to the highly anticipated Senate runoff elections in Georgia?
We cannot allow any appearance of fraud to stand. If it's an appearance, let's investigate and figure out if it's real or not. If we don't, Stephanie, investigate this time, we may never get another opportunity. We cannot allow these massive anomalies to exist and people say, no big deal. It is not in the interest of the Republic. It is not in the interest of the American people to just ignore what happened. We have to go through everything. And by the way, the people who should be most adamantly calling for this should be the Biden folks. There are, at this point, 72, 73 million people who are not convinced of the Joe Biden victory. The other side should be out there doing everything they can to support us on working through these things meticulously and factually to resolve what happened. That's not happening, and I'm kind of curious why the Biden folks aren't out there with us calling for a review and accountability. So that's what we're going to continue to do.
Especially since we want to make sure that Americans, they have faith in the election system moving forward. Again, Tony Shaffer, thank you so much again for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Want to see more videos like this? Visit OANN.com for immediate access to all the clips you've been waiting to see.